Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I have some TV news to talk about, and unfortunately, it's bad news in a way because it's the last season of The Shy after next season. And they will be on their eighth season, but The Shy is one of my favorite TV shows, active TV shows, other than, of course, Reasonable Doubt that's on Hulu, Mayor of Kingstown that's on Paramount Plus, and then any of the TV shows that's on the Power Universe that's on Stars, that's co-executive produced by 50 Cent. But this is one of my favorite active TV shows, probably the favorite. But it's ending after season 8, according to Lena Waithe. Said the show ran its course, and they're going to be ending it. And there's so many storylines that are unfinished that we need to see. But I felt like they killed off some of the major characters, and one of them being Brandon or Jason Mitchell's character. After he left the show, I felt like the show lost a little luster, lost a little spunk. But um, Jacob Lattimore, I felt like he stepped up and carried the show after that because I did feel like the show was about Jason Mitchell's character Brandon for the first couple of seasons until they, wrote him off the show. So I think it lost a little luster. And also too, when Duda was killed off, I felt like the show lost a lot because he was mostly the bad guy of the show and he created a lot of the storylines and a lot of the drama behind the scenes, whether he was directly connected to it or not. He had some part in everything in the city because of the influence and the wealth that he had. So but I will still miss the show though, even though I caught on to it late. I caught the show out, in season in the middle of season 7. So I watched 7 seasons pretty much in like maybe a month or two. So I was able to catch up and I still got to go back and watch the show because I watched it a little fast. So I'm pretty sure it's things that I've missed. But it's one of the best TV shows that we have right now, especially for Black TV, as we don't have that much representation on TV right now. And this show had a very good balance to me of good and bad, positive and negative moments, just to show reality, especially, I don't know if it's reality in regards to Chicago, but, being based out of Chicago, I imagine it was some kind of reality of what that city goes through, or most inner cities, because most inner cities are pretty much similar as far as inner city life goes. But the show does reflect reality, and that's what I did like about the show. It reminded me of like the mini The Wire. Of course, The Wire has more elements to it as far as like getting law enforcement's perspective and lawyers' perspectives and the newspaper and things like that. The show doesn't really have that. But nevertheless, it does give you the perspective of the streets and then give you perspective of like the politicians in some kind of way. So it does give you a little bit of that, but it doesn't give you that full world grasp that The Wire does. And that what separates The Wire from most shows is a unique ability to be able to give you so many different perspectives of of the streets, of the legal system, of the law enforcement side, of the newspaper. They even had the ports where they talked about how the product get in. So they had so many different innate abilities to bring you so many different perspectives that most TV shows don't, especially shows that relates in to the inner city. It has just don't been able to do that, but The Wire did. But I feel like the Shy is a new age version of that, but it just gives you just more of focused perspective on things of certain characters. But I think on the bright side of all of this, The Shy did outlast what most urban shows were able to do. They usually get 5 seasons if they're lucky, maybe 6. But they were able to get 8 seasons. And who knows, maybe they will do so good this season that they'll have to do another season. But I really hope they could at least put out a movie after the 8th season because we always need some kind of closure. And I know that the end of season 8 really won't give us closure that like we really want. I talk about this all the time. Breaking Bad was the only show to really give us closure and a spinoff, which is, you know, shows you how strong their fan base is. The Wire didn't have a strong fan base like that when they ended. It was kind of hit and miss, and most people caught on after the show ended. But if they had that support, they'd probably still be going on now. But nevertheless, them going off the air is a blow to representation on TV for blacks in urban TV, as we don't have the Cosbys anymore. There's no more Jeffersons or Good Times. So a lot of those shows that we have or hold in that high regard are not really around anymore. The Blackish shows, I think that might be still around, or Mixedish. Those type shows will probably still be around, but we only get like 5 or 6 seasons of these shows, and most TV shows are out, you know, pretty fast, unless you're a cartoon like The Simpsons or Family Guy or something like that. Those shows last forever, but as far as black representation on TV, we really won't have that after this show ends. But I do trust in like the Lena Waithes and the Ava DuVernays and others to revive TV and still represent us on TV and movie screens going forward. So unfortunately, the Shy will be going after season 8, but I still will be staying tuned to see what Lena Waithe does next. But until next time, I'll see you next time.